Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk about Immer, a dependency used with Redux. Okay, suppose we have a scenario. The scenario is our state is to be look like this. This is our state, which is an object, has a name and has a nested object address, have a street and a city and a state. Okay. So now I'd like to do what? I'd like to make a change on the street and what's going to happen with our code. So this is related to complicate object update. Okay, discard. Let's go to our code. I'm going to start with the constants. So we need to have one more constant, export const. I will do update street. Oh, that goes to Chinese. S-T-R-E-E-T. Okay. And then let's go put it here. Mac, not a control. Okay. And then I'm going to create the first file is the action. Okay. The new file is called user action. Yes. And here I'm going to export const create update street action. Okay, and since we're updating street, so we have to give a new street. It's a string type, and it's going to return a new value. It's going to return action object which have a type. Type is what? Type is update street. And what is a payload? Payload is this action, which not an action, is this street. My bad, sorry. And next one, I'm going to add a new user reducer.ts file. Okay. What is your reducer? It's a reducer which has a state. Okay. State we can give initial state. We'll do later. Okay. And we have action and we'll do something here, which is our business logic, which to change the state. Okay, so here our initial state is going to be like what? Initial state, which will have a name. Name I'm going to call John Smith. Okay, and it has address. Address is another object which have a street. Street, let's go to 1, 2, 3 Main Street. Okay. Then it have a city. Let me expose where I lived. A very small, beautiful, peaceful, user-friendly town called Fairfield. And the state is in Iowa. Very small. Okay. And you are welcome to visit here. Okay. And for the action which has this is our type of action, which have type and a payload. So I'm going to have a type, which is action type. It's going to have a type. Type is string, and it's going to have a payload. Payload is also string. Okay, so this is action type, which is action type. Okay, then we're going to have a switch. Switch based on what? Switch based on action.type. And I will only handle for one type of action, which case is update street. And since we update street, as we know, inside the Redux, we cannot modify on the existing state. We have to every time we have to generate a new object for that, because the reducer is pure function. Okay, so we have to return. We have to return a new. What is this? A new state. So here spread state, and the thing we added is on what we modify is the street of the address. So I have to modify on the address. Address, first thing I have to do what? Spread on what? Spread on state dot address. Then I have to make a change on the what's thing? On the street. I don't need to have a quote. Street. Street is what? Street is action dot payload. See here. So this spread is to spread, like I have a name and address. And since I make a modify on the street, so I have to spread in the address this part. The address is also an object, so I have to spread on this address. So this one is spread address. Then I modify on the street. The new street is same as the action the payload, right? So and with default is what? Default return state. Let me see F. Oh yeah, it's a control Shift Alt F. Okay, which is to format this document. Then I will export default my reducer. Okay, this is user reducer. Inside our store, we have to add this reducer. So here I'm going to import user reducer from, which is user action. User reducer, my bad. Okay. Then here I will do have a user. User will have what? User reducer. Okay, that's our that's what we have here. Then we can do a test. In the index, this one, we can do a test is what? We can do a test is a comment of them, okay? Because I'm not going to test all the piece of those things. I'm going to store dot, store dot dispatch. Dispatch what? Create update street action. Then I give a new street. So our initial street is what? Our initial street is 1, 2, 3 main street. Okay. Let's add me give like a 8. Okay, 8 first street. Okay, like this way. And let's test. Okay, we are done. Then how to test? npm run build. Okay. No such a file package.json. Oh, because I'm on React Redux, I have to get into the Redux demo. Okay, so cd Redux demo. Okay, then it's clear. Then npm run build. Okay. So tsc. Then npm start. So let's see. Initial state is 1, 2, 3 main street. And now we have updated one, right? So the problem is, so here, no problem, okay? The code still works, no problem. But think about, here we have one level of nested address, right? If we want to produce a new street, you're gonna have a spread, then spread. Probably if you have more nested object, you want to update, you have spread, okay? Continue like a nested spread. This is something we don't want, okay? To make your code looks strange, you know, even though that it works, okay? So that is where we come with the Immer. Okay, Immer is a library making it easier to work with immutable state. Okay, in just particular with Redux, it allows to write code that looks like you are mutating the state directly, while under the hood it keeps the state immutable. This is useful for making Redux reducer cleaner and easier. Okay, in the Immer, it have a draft state. Okay, provide draft state. You can modify directly, and when we finish, Immer will create a new immutable state based on a change. So what we can do, we can use a dot notation directly modify on the state, and when we finish, Immer will generate a immutable state based on our change. Okay. So with it still have immutable updates, it can simplify the process of updating nested object without having to use complex object spread or object assign, which is generate a new state, new object. Okay, either use spread, that's what we used. You can also use object assign. Okay, first we have to install Immer. Okay. And inside Immer, it has a produce function, which can do what you do. In the produce, you will receive a base state, which is a previous state. Okay, and you have to give a function. This function will decide how would you like to change your state. Okay, and this draft state is the same as the base state. Okay, but you can directly modify it. And after this produce, it will generate a new state. So when we return this result of produce, okay, and we give a state, which is this one, which is current state, and this draft, okay, how would you like to modify on the state? I'd like to make a change on the street, okay? And eventually, Immer, this part, will return another object for you based on the change. And this object is new, not on the original state. It's a new, okay? Because the original state is immutable. So now let's implement it, okay? I don't want to keep, discard. So here, let's go to our code. First thing is we will clear npm install Immer, okay? And after install Immer, here we can import produce. Produce from Immer, okay? And once we have produce, we can do what? For do I need to keep a code? Let me make a copy of the code here. So then after you will see the changes I made. Okay, I'll make on this one. Okay, this is original one, and this is a change I'm going to make. Okay. So here you just do what? Produce. We're going to return a new state for you. So we return what? When we return here, we return new state. So here produce will have a base state, and then this base state will be representing our current state. Okay. Then you give how would you like to change? We will have a draft, and a draft, and this one here. How would you like to change on the street? I will change on the draft, which is state, and change on the address, which one? Street, okay? To be what? To be our action.payload, okay? So this is our produce, Immer doing. So instead of writing this spread, suppose you have many levels of nested component and nested objects, you have spread, okay, nested. But with the Immer, you can directly using dot notation to modify it, okay? So that is the reducer, okay? So now I'll make a change on this reducer. I'm going to just go to test, okay? So here I will give 9999, okay, to make sure it's being changed, okay? So here still you have to build. You can directly run a tsc, or you can use npm run build, okay? Then clear, okay, clear. Then npm run start. So this is our initial state 1, 2, 3, and we make a change already, okay? Like 999, okay? So that is Immer, okay? Which is works great with Redux to help us for modify uncomplicated objects using the produce, okay? So that's it for this video talking about Immer. I will see you in next video. Thank you, bye bye.